Hey everyone, welcome back to StrikePro. In today's video, we're going to learn all about side action and optional divisions. So let's get started. As you can see, we're here on the tournament dashboard. We're already filtered down to our My First Tournament, which was a tournament we created in an earlier video. So let's go ahead and set this up. We're going to go ahead and click on Manage Tournament. And in this page, as you can see, we have the basic and format toggles, which we've already touched when we created the singles tournament. So as you can see, we created a tournament named My First Tournament. We had yesterday's date. We had the National Bowling Stadium, etc., etc. Now we're going to move on to optional divisions. So as you can see here, we've got multiple options. Now these are all defaulted options. These are the only options that are available in StrikePro today. So because our format for this tournament was a singles format right here, and it was a handicap only tournament, like I said before, we can only have scratch or handicap for the main tournament format. But for optional divisions, you do have a scratch singles. So if you can see, it says handicap only. If this said scratch, you would have a handicap singles division that you could turn on as well. So let's go ahead and turn on the scratch singles optional division. And inside this window, an optional entry fee for the scratch singles side. So let's just say we're going to charge $30 for the entry fee for the optional singles. You can set a separate director fee for each optional division if you'd like. And again, you still have the percentage, the flat amount, and the per bowler. So if you were doing percentage, obviously it would be, let's say you set this to 10%, it would be $3 off. $3 of the entry fee would be set aside for the director fee. You can do a flat amount, which is a one-time fee, or a per bowler, which is, say, 50 cents a bowler or a dollar a bowler, whatever you choose. Let's just do a flat amount of $10 for this optional division. Payout ratio. Now, for the payout ratio, this will inherit from the main tournament format. So if you set the main tournament format to be 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5, etc., that's what this will be here. For this particular example, we're going to go ahead and do 1 in 3. Now, places are auto-calculated based on the amount of bowlers that are registered. And again, you can choose for a distribution method, you can choose fixed first place and fixed decline. And as a refresher, if you didn't watch the other video, a fixed first place distribution method for payouts would be you set the first place percentage of the prize fund. So in this case, it would be 30% of the prize fund would be dedicated to first place. And then there'd be a decline, auto-calculated decline for the rest of the prize fund based on the payout ratio here. Now, from a fixed decline perspective, this is where it's just a step down of 15%. There's an auto-calculation that happens in the background by the app, and it will suggest a prize fund after you've registered bowlers. Now, this is all able to be overridden, so don't worry about that. You'll be able to set your own prize fund. And I know probably 90-95% of it, you will do that. All right, so you've configured the scratch singles optional division. You can choose to set up a female optional division as well. And in this case, you've got scratch, handicap, or you can do both scratch and handicap. So if you're doing one or the other, you'll have the entry fee, director fee type, etc., etc. But if you click on scratch and handicap, as you can see here, we've got two different columns, one for scratch and one for handicap. And if you can see on the left here, it's kind of this orange color. And then you got the handicap that's in black. This is really just kind of indicating what you're working on. So if I click over here, that's going to highlight orange. It just shows you your active window. So let's go ahead and set $10 up here. And we'll do a flat amount of, let's say, $5. And then the handicap side will also do $10. And we'll do a flat amount of $5 here. Okay. Now, for the max handicap, let's say you want to set a max handicap for this particular handicap division for the females. You can set that here. And then we can set, let's say, 50 per game. Okay. And you have payout ratios. You can have different payout ratios for scratch or handicap. Again, we'll just do 1 in 3 here. And then we will set this to, we'll just leave it at 30%. And you can do the same thing for senior, super senior, youth. Now, doubles optional. I do want to go ahead and go over this. So down in the doubles, you can either do doubles as a main tournament format. Now you can set up the optional doubles division. You have two options. Again, you have the scratch and handicap. You can do scratch and handicap both, or you can do them individually. Now, as you can see, we have a toggle called blind doubles. Now, what the blind doubles is that you have an auto pair option. So whatever the amount of registered entries you have, this will just randomly assign pairs, and nobody will know who they are until the actual standings come out. Okay. So in order to turn that on, you just have to click this button. We're going to shut it off for now, just to get started. And we're going to go ahead and set a scratch and handicap. So we'll do $50 per team here. We'll just do a flat amount again. We'll do $50 on the other side as well for handicap. We'll do a max handicap on this one. Now this is, we'll do 50. This is per team. Okay. So this is 50 pins per team. Actually, because since we're doing 100 on another max handicap, let's change this to, or 50. Let's change this to 100 rather. So it's 100 pins per game per team. Okay. Got your payout ratios again. We'll go ahead and set those. We'll leave all of the rest of the things the same. Okay. So that's how you set up the optional divisions. We're just going to skip the senior, super senior, and youth for now. Let's click on side action next. Now, side action, you got three different options. You got brackets, eliminator, and high game pot. So let's go ahead and enable the brackets. By default, it's going to choose handicap or scratch. If you want them both, you just click the both little check boxes there. You set your entry fee, so $5 in this case, $5 for the handicap side. And let's say typically with a bracket, as we all know, $5 is kind of the standard fee per bracket. We'll go ahead and set this to $5. We'll set $25 for first place and $10 for second place. As you can see down here, the prize pool is based on 8-player bracket. So it says $40. So 5 times 8, $40. And therefore, it kind of shows you what you've allocated. So $5 for the fee, $25 for first, second place. This will let you know that you've already exhausted the prize fund and allocated it properly to the prize fund or fees. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this up. And you can also choose the set. So this is a 4-game tournament. So you can choose to have game-enabled bracket sets for games 1 through 3 or games 2 through 4. We'll choose both sets. All right, so we'll go ahead and collapse the brackets. Now we'll go ahead and click on Eliminator. Again, you have the one selected option here. We're going to select both. And for the entry fee, we're going to put $20 per eliminator for handicap. Okay. Now the director fee type, again, we have the 3 different options. We're just going to say it's a flat amount. We'll just call this $5. And we'll also do the same thing on the handicap side. Now this is a cut percentage. So after every game, what percentage of the field gets cut? Okay. Right now it's by default at 25%. If you have a smaller tournament, I recommend doing 15 or 20%. We're just going to set this for 20%. All right. And that's your eliminator configuration. So last up, we'll go to high game pot. Again, you can do scratch and handicap division. Let's just say we want to do $15 for the entry fee for scratch and handicap separately. Director fee, we're not going to do any director fee on this. We'll just leave it at 0. So everything goes to the prize fund for high game. And then down here, as you can see, we have high series checkboxes. If you want to pay out the high series for each of these divisions, you would just click that box. And the prize pool would be divided by 4 games plus the high series. So divided by 5. If you left it unchecked, it would be divided by 4. All right. So that's how you set up optional divisions and side action. Let's go ahead and move on to the next video.